down. I have you recording. I'm looking at all of your really cool art installations here. It looks very abstract, but I know it's with purpose. So can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing now, a little about this installation of repurposing? Is it upcycling and repurposing?
Yeah, upcycling's a great word.
Okay.
It's something I was brought up doing. Many years ago, I was a part of the start of ArtQuest and did a lot of exhibit design and was really engaged with programming here. And so I'm so excited that it's being revived. And I had this idea of a forest, creating a forest out of recycled materials with a real art point of view. And so that's, and a lot of those things live in my attic. Wow. That's where it started. I said, well, upstairs we can thin out these metal poles. We can, we have all these cardboard tubes that have been lingering since 1995 or something like that.
Wow.
And things I've done with collaborative workshops and with adults and children, all these things, and remnants of them, echoes of them wind up with me. And so some of those were the starting points.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, so there's things like sheet music and these big scrolls that I've done with students. This is a great example.
Okay.
And this was,
that's so
cool. This is on a piece of just the kind of wallpaper they use to prepare a surface before you wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a liner. So it's a very inexpensive product. And so this is like part of a very, very long scroll that we're using to make a forest. And we've gotten things from reconsidered goods. Some of these, what do you call it?
Like
tubes,
packaging
just
tubes?
cardboard tubes and held fabric or paper, who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
They've come into our possession, and I've got leftover paints and glue and fabric and you name it. And so we're creating a forest out of old vintage linens, these materials, metals, poles, you name it, and sheet music, and actual 45 records that I found in a vintage shop in LA, and I'm understanding there's more in Greensboro.
Yes.
So we'll get more. Lots of different things like that, and we're figuring out the parts that kind of require some adult hands, and then we're gonna ask the children to come to ArtQuest to assist us in building it up further with their ideas and their point of view. And so they'll be painting on the sheet music to make leaves with Jamie and her crew. They'll, I don't even know all the things we'll do. We'll probably paint corks. We'll probably dream out wonderful forest embellishments and crazy bushes, things like that, to kind of create a wonderful way to peer into ArtQuest and watch it get brought back into a fuller, brighter moment. And so engaging young hands, old hands, you name it, in the making of this. And we're kind of going along by, oh, that will work and that'll work, and let's try this. And so a lot of it's really improvisational, which is really how I work with my own art. Is you have a hunch and you take it, and then you get a little lost and you get found again and you keep going. So that's just how I roll, and ArtQuest is a perfect place to behave that way.
Right.
So, yeah. So just setting things up so that Jamie and her crew can work with the kids to make more scrolls and add their color and their mark, and there's old books, just so many funny things are going to wind up in here, and things we haven't even found yet. We'll work the way in.
That is so cool, Peg. Thanks for explaining all of that. So what it sounds like is we've got some stuff from the 90s coming into the stuff from the day. It's this whole like full circle art exploratory project.
Right, exactly. And then things that even predate that, like the 45s, are from the 60s.
Oh, really?
There's some things that are just so old that are sort of exotic, frankly, as a shape and as an idea and as music we know. But we don't hear it in that old-fashioned record kind of way. We hear it, re-released you know, through our iPods or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's fun to take shapes and take real creative artists of other disciplines and weave them into this from all over, you know, all over our country. So it's nice to do that. And there's just very ordinary hunks of wire and I don't know.
All kinds of fun
things,
stuff.
Because when you're not a welder and you're not a craftsperson, you have to improvise with tape and thread and, you know, muscle and, you know.
Teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. And I love me a ladder, so it's fun to be running up that ladder and figure out what's happening from above. And the other thing we'll be doing is we'll be making creatures for this forest, which will be really fun.
Really cool.
Because there's a lot of great examples of things that Jamie and the Art Quest crew do here with their young visitors. You know, their owls and bugs and all kinds of things that we will work in. And so that'll be a really neat continuation.
That's really
the forest
neat.
lives with many.
Yeah, and
So-
anything can live in the forest.
That's
so-
right. And yeah, so we're being a little irreverent with color and materials, but you know that's what the arts are about, is activating unsuspecting ingredients, and it's fun to be able to upcycle many things that just are drifting around.
Yeah.
That so that we're not spending resources on things that we already have, and that's that's always a nice thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me and explaining all
Sure.
of this. This is going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I know.
It's so fun.
It's fun. And it's funny when you make things, you don't really know the outcome, but you just trust that you will.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's going to be
location for
like a process of several people's minds, children, yourself as an artist,
Right.
Adults, and
Right.
it's so exciting.
Yeah, because there's so many wonderful parents who come in here and do things with their kids, and so they will be probably adding to this forest very soon. It'll be wonderful.
It's shaping up really nice.
Yeah, and we've actually taken some of the old pieces of exhibits and we've appropriated them as flooring for the forest. So we found them in the basement. I said, well, this will work.
Just
This is
pieces
the
of exhibits.
Yeah, just like
from years
parts
past.
of some kind of, I don't know what they were for, but some kind of wonderful something that has come and gone, but the plywood is valuable, frankly.
Yeah.
And so that's how we did that, and just a little bit of paint kind of fixes it up, and so yeah, we're on our way. It's nice to be able to do that.